Welcome to Facebook Live and Instagram Live. The sisters are in. I'm Marnie Nir, expert coach at Handel Group, and this is my sister Lauren Zander, co-founder and chairwoman of Handel Group. We're back. Feels like it's been a bit. That's why I was checking. Sometimes it's too soon, and this one was a little bit long for me, just in case you were wondering. All right, if you sent in your questions, thank you, and if we get to it, you get $50 off of a private coaching session, so just listen, be on the lookout for an email from us, because you win a prize. All right.
And send questions. We want your questions. We care really about you. We're only doing this for you, I swear.
Yes. And then you could even send in questions now and get $50 off of a private coaching session.
When we use your question.
Yeah. So feel free to stump us right now with something juicy. All right.
Yep.
Topic of the day is, given the holidays are coming, family is coming over and on the mind or bothering you or something's happening. So this is family based. Any family questions you've got on how to survive them for holidays or questions you've got?
Great. Let's go.
Let's do
family questions.
What should women do about in-laws who stay over for weeks or even months in a row? I was like, what did Laura say to that?
We can't get our parents to even stay over one night, so that's kind of funny. We don't have those parents. Okay, so there really is who you are about your house, about spending time with someone, how you want that set up, and what would be your ideal. Okay? And then there really is your partner. Okay? And so now there really is you and there really is your partner. And your partner is the one that's inviting his parents to stay as long as they're staying, right? And then there really are circumstances that explain why they might stay that long, because they're from Australia or somewhere really far and this is their big trip and they stay for a while. So I've been through this a lot with clients. And the first person you have to negotiate this with is your life partner whose parents they are, okay? And you have to come to terms with, is it every year? Can we do it every other? You have to negotiate what your request is of them and then have them understand what you need if they're going to stay that long. If they're so take them away for a weekend, go do this. You need to have a negotiation with your truth of what you can tolerate and be generous about and really go have that conversation with your partner. Because that's who has to go talk to his parents or her parents, okay? This really may be one of those times where you don't have a choice because they're coming from India. This is how your partner does family. In which case, they're coming for 3 weeks, they're coming for 6 weeks, and then figuring out what to do with them while they're there and what you need given they're staying. You may just need to negotiate with that. So I would open negotiations and I would tell you that for this year, you're late, okay? And you can't change the agreement that you've been letting happen for years, right? But you can start to ask for what you need for next year and then start to negotiate what you want for this year regarding your free time. And that you're not cooking for everyone and you're not cleaning for everyone and you're not entertaining everyone. There's really what is pissing you off and you really can ask for help. Usually this person who's in this situation has been a martyr and it's martyrdom because you're not asking for what you need, right? You need a cleaning lady, you need this, you need you have rights. You have rights. But you're not figuring out what your rights are so that you don't utterly change the deal with your husband, partner, whoever.
Yeah. And, the truth is your in-laws that are coming you're so much more fun when you're happy. So the negotiation is working on their behalf as well. Shira's parents used to come, so my husband's parents used to come. They didn't come for that long, but maybe it was a week or two, and we really just plotted it. They were adorable, but I really knew what work I was not going to get done during that time. I really knew she liked to cook for everything, so I prepped for that. We really set them up for whatever theater they wanted to go to. So we made a game of it and really designed it well. And I think that's really key. So you negotiate the contract or renegotiate one that you never made. And then you get designing how their stay is going to be, who you're going to be about it, right? And you'll see, look, if you know us or have been coached by us, you maybe have heard us talk about designing your day or designing your vacation, not just being at default of it, like how it goes. If you're in a good mood, you won't hate your in-laws, right? But how you could really design how you're going to be for it. And in an interview, we talk about designing your day, but consider it, you could design their stay.
And you could get prizes, right? You could get a spa day after they leave. You can negotiate so you're really having fun versus suffering.
Yeah, I really learned how to set up a massage day after the 2 Passover Seders. Eventually, I learned how not to suffer so much from my generosity.
Excellent.
All right, cool. Alrighty then. All right, I guess this is let's say this is at the Thanksgiving table type of thing. Should we respond to or ignore comments that we find contrary to our views or even rude?
What should you do if someone says something that pisses you off, that's against your beliefs, that triggers you?
Yes.
Yes, I would say leave it lie. Let it go, right? You do not need to make your point known, especially in a response to a point you don't like, right? Because that's really sparring. My son is very good at it, and it really is immature. Right? You can listen to someone, you can let them say whatever they say, and you can appreciate that they feel free to talk and share their point of view. It doesn't mean you need to get in on it and argue or set up, well, if you say that, I'm going to say this, right? So there is no better way to communicate than to not pick up the ball when someone says something. It really does say, you're not having that conversation. So I think you'll get a lot done in not talking about it and going, oh, drop the bomb, the end, and then switch. But what I would do in that moment is go, oh, and then shift gears. Hey, you know what I really want to talk about? Drop it and move on to another subject and make an offering that really lets people share their point of views that are not contrary. So I would leave hot topics where people are very different about what they will say out. Right? And I really do recommend, if there are conversations that are hot topics, you would, before you sat at the table, you would go one-to-one with anyone and go, hey, I'm making an announcement to everyone, and I'm going to everyone, and I am letting everyone know this is a, politic-free environment. Or anything that you don't want discussed, you are the host and you have every right to set up how the conversation goes, right? So use your power for good and really make a non-optional request. So I just wanted you to know we're not talking about politics and we're not talking about the Me Too movement. Okay, are you cool? You got that? And don't worry, I'm going to everybody. Great, thank you. I really appreciate that. Bye. All right, so then I would manage it pre-game.
Yeah, I don't really have much to add. I mean, we've had family, if my dad and my brother start talking politics, it's going to go bad. We've sat in the ones that have gone bad. So we really, if someone says something and he gets triggered, we really just, with a sense of humor, stop it right there, and just declare off limits, play, and move on.
Yeah, so if it goes south, you can stop it with humor, not with anger, or you got, not with another, put more fuel on the fire. You go, hey everybody, this is not, I'm ending this conversation, okay? You two, we're done. Thank you for sharing. Next topic. Anybody have an idea? And then boom, move it, okay? That's your job.
Yeah, it's going to be a triggering Thanksgiving this year. Like there's a lot going on. So you really could also just make a great toast in the beginning of we're keeping it politic free evening. You really can. Everybody knows what could happen at the table this Thanksgiving.
Yes.
So just stop it and be fun about it. Because it would be a feisty conversation.
Yes.
All right.
Especially with drinking.
Ooh, it gets even more heated. Stay aware. There's lots of shit you shouldn't talk about this Thanksgiving.
Okay.
All right. My parents recently divorced, and the situation is a bit hostile. They are both having holiday celebrations, and I feel like I'm in the middle and have to choose which to go to. What should I do? Like, dear Abby, hello.
Usually, like, so if you just go to divorce land, like, what happens in divorce land? You switch every year, right? Someone gets Thanksgiving, someone gets Christmas, or whichever holidays you do Thanksgiving and Hanukkah. Whichever one are your holidays, you divide them, right? Or David's parents are divorced, my husband's parents are divorced, and Christmas Eve is owned by one of them, and Christmas Day is owned by another, right? So you would divide the holiday, right? And I even knew people who wouldn't divide the holiday, but had double holidays, right? So Thanksgiving wasn't on, Thursday night, like whenever the real night is, they did a Friday night Thanksgiving because the real thing, right? So you could do two, so I would go negotiate with each of the parents, what they really want. And they're not thinking you have to be only with one of them. They understand they're dividing, right? And so go straight to them and figure out the divide and then be fair the following year.
Yeah.
Okay?
Got nothing to add to that.
Make it easy.
Help them out.
Help them.
Yes. All right. I feel like I'm asked the same questions over and over. For example, are you in a relationship? How's your job? What's your life plan? How do I get it to stop?
Okay, so I would, hi, I'm Lauren. I think everything's because of you, right? So it sounds like you don't like talking about those things because you don't love your answers, right? You're embarrassed, you're not in a relationship. You're like, you don't love the truth about you. So when someone asks you to share about you, that's not insulting, but if you're getting insulted by it, it has way more to do with what you don't want to keep sharing, okay? It isn't the question, it's the answer you're not liking, okay? Because if you were in a great relationship, he'd be sitting there or she'd be sitting there, right? It's probably not the question, or the messenger, right? It's what you have to face about yourself on holidays. And holidays bring up how happy are you? How grateful are you? How connected to a full year did you have, right? And if you don't like your answers, you're gonna hate the person asking the question as if they're like intrusive and judging you. But there's only one person who's judging, which is you, and you don't like your answer. So I would really, get that the act of asking that question is curiosity and love. Okay? So stop being such a bitch about the question. But I will give you a tactic to not fully end up in that situation, right? So in a conversation, what really happens is if I ask you a question first, you will ask it back of me very likely. You'll go rambling on. So what I would really tell you to come armed with, if you really want to curate the conversation and you don't want to end up in telling everybody the same answer you don't like answering, is I would come with a list of epically interesting questions for them, which you're really cool with answering, right? And so there are millions of questions, amazing things to be interested in. And if you go, tell me your best moment this year, your most favorite moment. Tell me your worst moment this year, right? Then they'll be like, what was your favorite moment? What was your worst moment, right? So what happens is take over the conversation, come with your questions, and then they'll never know what happened to them. They'll just be on your ride, and you're the conductor.
That was good. I really knew. Eventually, I knew. I didn't right away know that when I got like insulted by what's new, the question what's new was like bothersome, that I had a problem. Because I had nothing fucking new, right? Like I was reporting on my kids with what's new, Marnie, and I'd tell you about Harrison and Sophie. And thought it was fine, but it didn't really feel fine. It felt a little pathetic. And same thing I remember as a stay-at-home mom back in the day, and I had to fill out the occupation question, and I like would try to amuse myself and be like, what's your occupation? I'd be like, my own mother, it was like, but it was true, and I had problems answering it, and I knew it was an integrity breach for me, my issue with it. So I think it's awesome. I think Lauren's answer is dead on. And if you're really in like what's next for you, I'm going to do an interview plug of if you're looking how to go design your life for 2020, you really should go check out our online coaching course, because it really will take you through how to dream, how to get into the right actions so that you'd be really proud to answer anything they threw at you because you're working on it. Yeah?
Yeah.
All righty then. All right. What advice or support can I give my 12-year-old that seeks approval and attention?
Approval and attention? Give it. Just give it. Give it. You cannot tell your kid they're cute enough, loved enough, special enough, interesting. You just cannot overdo adoration for your child. Okay, so one, they're craving it. Give it. What was the other part they wanted? Attention. So that's approval and attention. The main thing that you want your kid to get into versus getting just claps from others is, as long as they're getting claps from others in something they're really proud of themselves that they're doing. So as long as what they're in love with, which is, my daughter Daisy makes the coolest videos. Like she may have more followers than me, right? Right. And she makes goofy, funny videos, and she is totally making them to make David, my husband, go, that's a great one, right? She does art, and she really almost is doing the art. So I can go, that's gorgeous. I can't believe you did that. Right. So as long as what they're getting approval and love from is something they're proud of that they're doing themselves, it's cool. So then what you want to make sure is that it's, something they're in love with, and that they are getting into their own coolness for themselves. And so for you would just just make sure that they're doing creative things they love, right? And it's not just, wow, he's on level 32 in his video game, right? Like my son. Okay, so you really want to attack what they're proud of, right? Because my son isn't even proud of that, right? He's just lost upstairs with his friends screaming. So that then we would get him off the games and make sure he was doing something, so that he would, like, that's where my discipline comes in. That's what you can care about. But she's a better mother than me. Let's see what her answer is.
I think the only thing I'd add is like it's hard to tell by a question whether like it's bothersome that they're seeking it, like it's a neediness, right? So just watch that, because I think approve, like just be genuine in your approval, right? So I don't think I overly or was full of shit when I actually, clapped for them. So I make sure that my claps are real. Right, and if the painting isn't so great, I'm not like, that's the best thing I've ever seen, let me hang it. I try not to be a critical bitch like my mother can be. But I also just want to be straight, right? So I love what I love, and I like that one better, I love this one, and this is what I love about this one. So I just always made sure it was kosher for me that my claps were real. So I didn't overdo it. That's the only thing I'd add, is I was honest about it.
Sounds like my mother.
I was honest about it. Yes, I'm very Marshall-like. But then they know my claps are always real.
Yeah.
So I like to be trusted.
Yes.
Let's see. Did I do them all?
Did anybody send a question? No question sent. You could still send a
All right,
question. Quick.
you can do one. All right, I'm doing this one. Is it okay not to do the holidays with your family? Or is it just mean? My family is crazy.
Again, you're a little late asking the question because if they're all planning on coming, you can't cancel Thanksgiving now. Though you could go somewhere for Christmas. So you're always allowed, no one minds if you're like, we just want to be alone and you go somewhere. Like there's a difference between not going anywhere and going somewhere, right? So you can escape anywhere, you can even go to a bed and breakfast, an hour away and it counts as, the family wants to be together. So if you're going to dump your family, you need to have what you're replacing it with and a why, so that I think just to be kind around holiday season, right? And given that you're probably a little late for that, I would really go back to our first conversation about really curating how to make it great, right? So, the odds that you do the same thing every Thanksgiving, like everybody shows up, there's sports on, then everybody's drinking and overeating, and then the conversation devolves into politics, and then those two have a fight. This one storms out, that one goes upstairs, right? The kids have their earphones, right? So what I would do is I would come up with traditions that are like new traditions that are fun, right? Like bring out a board game, ask questions, create something that will be fun and make it fun for you as the host of this event, and really do something different and set it up so everyone expects it, and it really will change the experience of it's the same crazy bad scene. Again, maybe it's you.
Yeah, we did a Facebook Love about conditional and unconditional love. So it depends if they're really crazy, right? If you have a bunch of addicts, there's loving them regardless. If they really do have a doctor's note for craziness, there's designing it much better, as opposed to most of us will go watch a crazy be crazy, and then can you believe, Lauren, what she said? Right. And there's, of course, that's what she said. It's what she says every year, right? They overeat every year, right? So it's design it better. Okay, I think we got the wrap up. That was our last question. So thank you. Keep sending your questions in. And I brought up Inner You because we have a special offer today too. So it's our online coaching course. It's Lauren's entire method in one coaching program that you could do from wherever, whenever you want to. It will rock your world. And if you sign up using the coupon code for Sisters Are In 325, it'll be in the comments in the bio. Sisters Are In 325 for the next 24 hours. You get Inner You for a lifetime for half price for $325. After 24 hours, it'll go to $75 off. Okay, and if you sign up now with that code, you also get Lori Gerber, an amazing coach's masterclass that she's leading starting January 23rd.
And the class, we're now doing a class where she's meeting every week, which will really also support you doing each module and doing your homework. And it's and then you get a buddy and you get to meet new people, and it's on Zoom, it's video. It's really working, and it's so special to be in a community of people engaged in getting your life hot on your terms.
Yeah, so yes. So 6 weeks back to back, she will walk you through the program. So go check it out and do it quickly. Get it for the bargain.
Bargain.
All right, so thank you. Until next time, which I think is next week, actually.
Really?
So we'll see you then. Thank you.